All right, good evening, everyone. It's good to see everybody here. We're going to call to order tonight's regular city commission meeting from May 16th, 2022. Tabitha, roll call, please.
Mayor Young.
Here.
Commissioner Patrick is absent this evening. Commissioner Lewis.
Yes.
Commissioner Leachman.
Here.
And Commissioner Wilkinson.
Present.
For invocation tonight, we have Pastor Stan Martin with First Presbyterian Church.
I'm the most important one.
There you go.
Let's pray. Gracious God, we do thank you for being with us as we've gathered here this evening. We do ask your blessing upon this gathering, the commission members, as well as those who are guests, young, old, human, canine. We ask for your blessing. We also ask, oh God, that you give understanding in our time of discussion, deliberation, and that we pray and ask upon these commission members that they may also know wisdom in any decisions they may make. And may it all be done for the goodwill of all the people here in El Dorado. We ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And for Pledge of Allegiance tonight, we have Mrs. Culbertson's student leadership team from Blackmore Elementary.
They're going to introduce themselves. When you stand up, they're going to introduce themselves before the pledge.
Perfect.
I'm Lincoln, and I like how the Locust person always I'm Thomas, and I like Ultimate Hulk. My name is Ethan, and I like the city pool.
My name is Patrick, and I like the fast food chain.
My name is Afan, and I like all the way. My name is Sylvia, and I like my name. My name is Audrey, and I like the schools. My name is Chloe, and I also like the school. My name is Sophia, and I like the people who love the radio. My name is Liam, and I like how he's an evil person who's nice. My name is Allison, and I like listening to the
My name is Colby Cooper, and I like Lowe's Burger.
There you go. Everyone, please rise, and you guys can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming.
Really appreciate y'all being here. Enjoy your summer. All right, so it looks like we've got a couple of proclamations tonight. The first one is Kids to Parks Day. So whereas May 21st, 2022 is the 12th Kids to Parks Day organized and launched by the National Park Trust, held annually on the third Saturday of May. And whereas Kids to Parks Day empowers kids and encourages families to get outdoors and visit local parks, public lands, and waters, and whereas we should encourage children to lead a more active lifestyle to combat issues of childhood obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and hypercholesterolemia. Wow, that's a big word. And whereas Kids to Parks Day will broaden children's appreciation for nature and outdoors, and whereas Kids to Parks Day will recognize the importance of recreating responsibly while enjoying the benefits of the outdoors. And now, therefore, I, Bill Young, do hereby recognize May 21st, 2022 as Kids to Parks Day. And I call in this observance to the attention of all of our citizens. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the city of El Dorado, Kansas to be affixed this 16th day of May, 2022. Well, there's big words. The important thing there is that we get the kids outside and enjoy the beautiful parks that we have in El Dorado. And then it's Poppy Month. So I'm going to read the proclamation for Poppy Month. Whereas the American Legion Auxiliary adopted the poppy as its memorial flower, which pays tribute to the war dead and aids the living veterans and their families. And whereas the poppy, as a memorial for the American war dead, is a tradition which began in the years following the First World War. And whereas the contributions are used solely for the children and youth and veterans affairs and rehabilitation in our local community. Now therefore I, Bill Young, Mayor of the City of El Dorado, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Poppy Month in the City of El Dorado, Kansas, as an expression of gratitude to the men and women of this country who have risked their lives in defense of the freedoms which we continue to enjoy as American citizens. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of El Dorado, Kansas to be affixed this second day of May, 2022. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to bring the proclamation down.
I will add it to my other poppies. Thank you.
Your bouquet.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting us.
Always.
City of Dillon's right before Memorial Day with our jar of money, okay?
Okay, that's all of our proclamations. We'll move on to personal appearances. Personal appearances are opportunities for organizations or citizens to make special presentations before the City Commission. Such appearances are scheduled in advance of the meeting by calling City Clerk Tabitha Sharp at 316-321-9100 by 5 o'clock p.m. the Tuesday preceding the meeting. Presentations are limited to 10 minutes, and any presentations for information purposes only. No action will be taken. And it doesn't look like we have any personal appearances scheduled this evening. Perfect. Public comments. Persons who wish to address the City Commission regarding items that are not on the agenda and that are under the jurisdiction of the City Commission may do so when called upon. Comments on personnel matters and matters pending in court are not permitted. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. And any presentations for information purposes only, and no action will be taken. Do we have anyone here tonight for public comment? Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda. For tonight's consent agenda, we're considering the approval of City Commission minutes from April 18th, 2022, and the approval of appropriation ordinance 04-22 in the amount of $1,726,835.88. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
And a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We don't have anything for old business. We're going to move on to new business. And agenda item number 12 is condemnation hearings. So we're going to open. Sorry. So we're going to open the condemnation hearings for 425 South Summit, 425 and a half South Summit, 1102 West Locust, 1102 and a half West Locust, 214 North Star, and 501 North Star. So we have opened those condemnation hearings, and do we have anyone that wants to come forward?
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Chris Johns. I'm the property owner of 501 North Star. The property is in bad condition right now. However, I was able to pull a building permit, believe, early last week, and we've already repaired the foundation walls, and those just passed. So that was my biggest hang-up. The rest of the work, I'm a general contractor. The rest of the work we can handle. So that was the thing that was bottlenecking our progress on making the repairs there.
Okay.
And so the resolution you all are considering potentially passing this evening states, we have it filled in as 30 days or at your discretion, that these property owners are to commence repairs. Obviously, he's already started his work and has been in communication with the building official. To commence that work within 30 days and diligently try to bring the home up to a livable, safe condition. And if that does not occur, if we don't see good progress, then ultimately we can cause it to be raised. But from what I understand, the building official been having a lot of communication with you, and
Yes.
things have been going well, and he's happy with what he's seen.
So what you're saying, Scott, is that as we move through these resolutions tonight, even if we pass the resolution with regards to 501 North Star, he's progressing along and that he's gonna be fine on that property as long as he continues doing the work.
It would be my suggestion to go ahead and pass the resolution, and not saying that his project will end up this way at all, but the next agenda item we have this evening was the one that pulled the building permits, started work in a year's gone by, and nothing's been done.
Well, this gives us an avenue to work with the homeowner and get it property.
So in his building permit is good for 6 months. And so as long as he gets the work done, that time period.
I appreciate you're investing in properties, investing to get this done. I'm glad that you're able to get the building permit pulled and get started on the project. I know that's the tough part, so thank you for your work, Chris.
Thank you.
That's it, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
Do we have anyone else that would like to come and comment further? Come on up.
Hello, my name's Kaden Campbell. I am now the owner of 425 South Summit and 425 and a half South Summit. I bought this about 2.5 months ago, and sadly I did not do the research, which I should have done, to see that this was on the condemnation list. I have done a lot of house flips in the Wichita area, where we've had houses in this decay, and we've done the work to bring them back to life. And so I was hoping that would happen more time, since I called one of the inspectors, or the person who put the
Scott Peach in the building
Scott
official.
Peachin, yeah. I called him and I talked to him, and I told him, okay, we got the place sealed up, we cleaned it up, we mowed the lawn, we took the back deck up, made sure everything was sealed so nobody can get in to cause damage to themselves or the building. This week I got a roofer out there, and I'm in the process of, wanting to clean up the outside, get the foundation squared away on the south side, get new siding up, new windows, and a new roof, just to really clean up the neighborhood so it's not, an atrocious sight to everyone.
Right. So Scott, this kind of falls into the same category where we've got work happening and permits pulled?
Not yet. No,
Not yet, but I
yet.
can.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is same
He's
type of
convincing
situation.
the
So
cleanup of the property.
you're moving through the process, which we
Yes.
appreciate. And kind of a bummer you didn't know about it ahead of time, but I
Yeah,
appreciate
and it was a learning experience.
Sure.
Definitely something I should have called and said, hey, what's up with this property before? In Wichita, usually, but these houses sit there for years and years and years. So I thought, hey, this can be a property when my guys aren't busy at our job. We can move over to this property and work on it when work isn't coming in as soon. But I realized that, hey, when I talked to Scott Peachin and he's like, hey, this house is really dangerous. I kind of came to terms about it, and I was like, yeah, the deck was all wobbly, so I got over there. I got a dumpster over there, and we moved the deck, and then we, got new locks on the doors, closed all the windows, and just trying to make this house a safer place, and hopefully turn it into a single residence home instead of a, you know, a slumlord's house kind of thing. So,
Appreciate that.
Is
Thank-
425 structurally sound? It looks like it's leaning.
yeah, so that's what we'd be doing. We'd be the most sides, but the south side is pretty rough. So the south side needs jacked up and maybe new masonry work or just new foundation work.
You might tell, what are your plans with the Locust addresses?
I don't own the Locust addresses.
Isn't that all one parcel, aren't some of them address Locust?
I think it's just 425 South Summit's the front house, and then behind it's the 425 and a half South Summit.
Okay.
So
Some of them have a address of Locust, so that's why you see them clumped together.
I had no idea of something like that.
I got you.
So you own both properties?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your first job within El Dorado?
For the company that I used to work for, we worked on the house. I can't tell you the address, but
That's
and
okay.
it wasn't anything serious. It was mostly cosmetics. We painted the outside and freshened up the inside, and then my company sold that home.
Well, we appreciate your doing work in El Dorado.
Oh, thanks.
I think we're good. I appreciate you.
So, what will things be going forth? What
Well,
do you guys need
so,
from me?
so on the agenda tonight is this hearing, of course, and then we'll potentially, maybe there will be a motion to potentially pass these resolutions. Now, the resolutions, to Scott's point, say that, you know, you need to pull the permits and you've got work has to commence and you have to move forward. You have to be making progress on the work so that I understand and agree that we've seen houses in El Dorado as well, but certainly in Wichita that, you know, sit around for years in this state, and we're trying to remedy that. So
Totally.
what the purpose of the resolution is to kind of hold everybody accountable to making sure that progress is moving forward on the projects. It's, I guess, the easiest way to explain it. So if these resolutions pass tonight, then you'll just need to work with Scott and the engineering department and the building department to make sure that all the progress is being made.
Okay, awesome.
Will we have an opportunity to discuss each of these?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, I would, absolutely.
stick around.
Okay, we'll do.
Is there anyone else here who'd like to comment? Come on up.
We own 214 Star.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
We own 214 Star. Excuse me? Randy Napper, Jane Investment Group.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, sorry about that. 214 Star.
It's 214 and 214 and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. This property is in need of some work. It is not currently occupied, and we have recently refinanced, and we have two bids. One came in today. We have not started work on it. And one came in today, and we have another one from Scribner Enterprises here in El Dorado, who is also our property manager. We're going to make a decision on these, and we're going to move forward because we've got the money. Right now, we've got the money, but we've got two options. It might not even go back to be a residential. It could go back to being storage and for some other properties. We haven't made that decision yet. We have the bids for the properties. And I guess we would just ask for a little bit of time to get this moving forward.
So within these resolutions, what kind of time frame is provided there?
The staff just wrote 30 days as a placeholder. If you've done more in the past, that is really your discretion.
Sorry, I'm pulling this up. So we've got the two previous gentlemen that came up and talked. They've commenced work.
They've spoke to our building officials, the Locust Summit addresses started cleanup, removing some of the dangerous portions, and is in the process of visiting with the building official
Okay.
how to bring it up to code. The other 501 Star actually has pulled a permit to remodel the home.
Okay, and so then what you're saying is you're gonna move forward with something in the process, but you need more time than the 30 days, is
Right,
what
and
you're asking.
we have not pulled a permit, but Scribner Enterprises, I believe, has spoken with possibly Scott Beecham to try and get.
I asked him today, he hadn't heard from anyone.
Okay, are you familiar with Scribner Enterprises?
Yes, I know who
Okay,
they are.
yeah, so, anyway, we're working toward it, and that's, I'm not gonna tell you that we've done a bunch of work, because we
Sure,
haven't.
I appreciate
But we have done a bunch of work, it just hasn't been physical work on the building, we haven't driven any nails yet, so.
Gotcha.
But it has been a lot of work.
So if you were, so if we move through these resolutions, as I said earlier, they're really tied to just created to keep everybody accountable. The standard, as Scott said, the standard recommended language within the resolution is 30 days of, and not to completion, but 30 days.
Right.
To get that process going. And so you're asking for more time than that 30 days? You don't think you'll be in a position where you're moving one direction or another
I
within
think we
30
could,
days?
I think, yes, we will be, we have to, we're going to move in a position.
Okay.
We refinanced it, so we have payments coming. When we're a business, so we're trying to be a for-profit business, but not always.
No, I
But,
understand that. I understand that.
So this is one that's challenging, but we are, like I say, we've gathered up bids, we're ready to go. We just haven't, this is probably one of the first steps.
Okay. So as we move through this, if this resolution passes with the 30-day kind of window there, you're comfortable with that 30 days? You're not asking for an extension on that 30 days
No,
today?
that would be fine.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate that you guys, again, are investing in our community. I appreciate that you're doing something with those properties because it's needed done for a while, so.
Yeah, I'm trying.
No, I appreciate that very much. So thank you for coming up
Okay.
and talking to us.
All right, so you'll let us know about how this is resolved?
Yeah, we'll make a decision tonight on how we move forward, and then if the resolution passes, then you or whoever your contractor is gonna need to get with Scott and the engineering department
Okay.
quick, fast, in a hurry to move the process forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else that would like to comment for the public hearing? Seeing that there are none, we're going to close the hearing, and I would entertain.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, can you just disregard the one I gave you and go back to the original one?
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was gonna ask.
So we're going to,
Can we have a brief discussion about these?
sure.
Or do you want to do it after the motion?
I mean, it's fine. We can discuss and then create the motions from there, or whatever you guys prefer.
Well, I want to do it right.
Well, I mean, we should have a motion and then discussion. But if you don't, I guess my point is, if you want to divide these motions out each separately and not with the ands in the middle, that's fine as well, Gander. So if we want to, if you want to make a resolution about the South Summit and West Locust properties, we can stop there and talk about that, if you'd like to, and then move on to the next one. So,
Make a motion and discuss it. Make a motion and discuss it.
perfect. Look, I'm here
So
for a
shall
good
I
time.
make
I
the
want
motion?
times.
So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution number 2936, a resolution declaring that the structures at 425 South Summit, 425 and a half South Summit, 1102 West Locust, 1102 and a half West Locust are unsafe or dangerous, and directing the structure to be repaired or removed and the premises made safe and secure.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second, so let's discuss this resolution for the Summit properties.
Okay, and you say all three resolutions are for 30 days?
Just staff recommendation.
That's staff recommendation.
Okay.
We can make adjustments to
Well-
that if we deem that necessary.
Well, I'm impressed that somebody bought those. Bless your heart.
I don't know how impressed he is.
Yeah. But we all learn our lessons, right? That's okay. Don't let this one hold you back from El Dorado. He's obviously already started working with the dump, because I did notice the other day the dump trailer was there, and he's talked to the city, and, I mean, I would still go with the 30 days just to measure progress on how he's doing and report back to us. Let us know how he's coming along with it.
I agree with that, Kinder. I would say that, you know, when we've gone through these resolutions and these condemnation processes before, and as I told the gentlemen all when they were up here, this is just an opportunity for us to put that resolution in place to hold everybody accountable, both the property owner and the city, right? If there's things that the property owner's working on and they're needing work with the engineering department or the building department, and you know that may or may not be happening, then that's an opportunity to operate within this resolution. So I think the 30 days is a great number, and again, that doesn't imply that the project needs to be completed in 30 days, but it has to have continual improvements and work being done, and that'll be gauged by the building department, who will then bring reports back to us. Because we can't just, I guess, so that everyone understands out there, if just because we've condemned a property doesn't mean we can demo it. That's a whole separate conversation and a whole separate approval process. And so, you know, if, for example, the building department comes back to us next month, 30 days from now, and says, like, crickets, you know, nothing's happened, then we talk about that demo process. We just talk about moving on with the property. And Scott, I mean, correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here, that's kind of how the process works.
That's yeah, been our practice. You know, the resolution says commence, diligently repair, make safe. As long as we see progress with the building official's discretion, he's comfortable with it. But ultimately, the resolution does give the authority to the city commission to cause it to be raised if we don't see them commencing work, diligently doing and performing that work, or if there's some situation where it's just totally not safe for the public.
Good, is that?
Yeah, the condition of that property right there, I want to see something happening within 30 days. Or move on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough, and I think they're recognizing that, and understanding they've got to make some adjustments there. So, any other discussion on this? So on the motion for resolution number 2936, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do I have another motion?
I move to approve resolution number 2937, a resolution declaring the structures at 214 and 214.5 North Star is unsafe and dangerous, and directing the structures to be repaired or removed, and the premises be made safe and secure.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion on these properties?
My concern with this property is that he's had 30 days notice on this? A little longer, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's been court
Yeah.
appearances and
Yeah,
things like that where no.
I'm going to that. I drove by it. He's had 30 days to do something, and today he just gets a bid. He hasn't been working very hard at getting something done. And then I'm concerned about the fact that he said something about putting in storage units instead of making it a house. Is that going to require?
Yeah, when he reaches out to us, we'll discuss that, but, you know, the storage on the property is for that property, you know, the use of that property, not for storage units to rent out, or there is some menial equipment that could be, maybe be stored there for the upkeep of rental homes, but not as rentable storage, or you're running your business out of a storage, a home for storage. It is ultimately still zoned as residential.
What concerns me is he come up and talked and then went out the door. He's not even here.
Yeah.
There's a citation issued in June 10th of 2021, no appearance in court. Then appeared in court on July 12th. And a new court date was set for February 7th of 2021. The one we're gonna, and I wish he was still here, I would have said this, the thing we're gonna push really hard is the sewer condition. It's been almost a health issue in that structure, so.
Yeah. No more than 30 days.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And again, for me, this is our opportunity to hold them accountable. And
Yeah.
And if the appropriate changes don't happen, then Scott will bring it back to us for raising the structure.
I mean, I'm looking at the wrong one, going to give the wrong dates, but yeah, it's bad news what they were given citations on.
Any additional discussion? Comments? Concerns? Okay, so on the motion for the resolution number 2937, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we have one more.
I move to approve resolution number 2938, a resolution declaring that a structure at 501 North Main is unsafe or dangerous, and directing the structure to be repaired or removed, and the premises be made safe and secure.
Second it.
Hey, that's 501 North Star. You said Main.
What did I say?
Main.
Oh, 501 North Star.
She was
I'll
testing.
second it.
Sorry.
So we've got a corrected motion and a second as to not have the residents of 501 North Main show up at the meeting next time. So 501 North Star has been moved and seconded. This is Mr. John's property, who came up and spoke to us during the hearing. And they pulled a permit, got the foundation fixed, and is moving forward with the work, and they've been communicating with the building department as well, and the engineering department. So again, an opportunity to hold Mr. Johns accountable to this, and we can move forward. Is there any further commentary or questions about this one? Okay, as it pertains to the motion for resolution number 2938, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks again for your guys' investment in our community, and I look forward to seeing those properties improved very much. All right, so that's it for that. Agenda item number 13, demolition approval for 320 West 1 Avenue.
This Mayor and Commission, you heard this case on October 4th of 2021. At that time, a resolution 2837 was passed. The owner of the property did present himself at that public hearing, talking about his plans to make the home livable and safe. He did pull a building permit on October 14th of 2021. And since then, we have not seen work really go on. There's been a few holes dug. You can see by the newer pictures that were included in your packet. We've got a structure that's basically setting on wood cribbing.
Yeah, whatever that is,
It's, the yard is way overgrown, lots of trash debris. It is in very poor shape. And so we're recommending Although the resolution gave the authority to raise, we'll bring it to your attention and ask you to make consideration that city staff does what's necessary to clean up that property.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move that the structure at 320 West Towanda is unsafe or dangerous and directed the structure to be removed and the premises made safe and secure.
Second.
Motion in a couple of seconds. Is there any further discussion or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So that's it for new business, so we'll move on, and there's no discussion items tonight, so we'll move on to reports. Commissioner Wilkinson.
Parks and Rec has not met since our last meeting. I did attend an El Dorado Main Street meeting. David was there to discuss and talk about the base grant so that the Main Street Board would understand exactly what it meant for the downtown area. And they also discussed the garden tour that is taking place in June, talked about the advertising and the tickets. And if you wish to purchase tickets, a lot of the merchants downtown have them for sale. And that was about it.
Go ahead.
Well, been a couple of things. On the Experience El Dorado, there's been some changes on a couple of things that are going on, it sounds like, on the Go Fest, so we're moving forward to see what those are. I have to admit I don't have details yet, but I've heard there are some things changing. One of the things I'd like to do is take a second. I went to the Governing Body Institute. They had a great speaker. He talked about a couple of things I'd like to just mention. Number one, he said, own your leadership imperatives, champion community values, principles, not politics, trust and respect. 3, give them what they want. They need to be heard and respected. No one should ever leave City Hall feeling defeated. There is always something that can be done. And number 4, host courageous conversation. Getting together and talking to people. It was in spite of the tornadoes or all around that Saturday night, it was a good meeting and they had a great speaker. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Wilkinson.
I have nothing to report.
So we had the FABC meeting last week. Really, there was nothing new. There's an opportunity just to kind of get together and do a little end of the year wrap up. The college actually has secured a contract with Pepsi and Premier Vending for the pop and vending contracts that will flow over to the stadium as well. It looks like the skyboxes have filled up, all with renewals, so we're going to have that revenue coming back in. There's conversation around, what the future looks like for some fundraising efforts, maybe for track and some other things. But yeah, things seem to be going really well. The FABC won't have a meeting in June, and we'll reconvene back in July as we get ready to kick off the next school year. So that is really what I have. I do want to just, and while it's my chance here, want to say congratulations to the Butler Community College girls softball team who are won a game this weekend to advance their 6th straight national championship tournament.
Wow.
So, we've got, in addition to some pretty stellar academics at the college, we also have some really great sports teams and opportunities for athletes to make it out to Butler. So if you run into one of our softball players or Coach Chance or his coaching staff, be sure to tell them congratulations. It's a big accomplishment, and good luck as they move on to nationals. So that's all I've got. David, City Manager's report.
So you've noticed that there's plenty of construction activity going on, particularly on North Main. So just a couple things to update you on. The big project that we've been kind of watching is the bridge on North Main. Traffic, you'll notice, has moved to the other side. So that means that the project is half done, approximately. Yay. So things are looking pretty good for that timeline. and we are anticipating that project will be completed by mid-June. So stay tuned to that. Today, however, you may have noticed additional cones on North Main Street, and that's because Public Works, in partnership with Union Pacific, has been working on the railroad crossing there at 4th. The outbound lane on the northbound side was very uneven and rough, and they figured out that it was a sinkhole that was located underneath those tracks, and so they finally got Union Pacific out to make their repair, and then Public Works was filling in the area between the tracks, and so that will take some curing time. And so there will be a slight detour on North Main while that's taking place. Work is expected to take about a week to 10 days, and then it'll be back to normal. So please use caution as you drive through our multitude of construction zones on North Main. It's warming up, and so that means that it'll be garage sales will be upon us. The citywide garage sale weekend will be June 24th and 25th. We will have a map of addresses that will be participating in the weekend's garage sales. If you'd like to be listed on the map, please email your name and address of the sale to events@eldoks.com. That is events@eldoks.com. By 5 p.m. on June 8th, and that way we can include you on the map. If you aren't included in the map, that's perfectly fine. You can still have your yard sale. People will be driving around, and hopefully it'll be a great weekend so everyone can sell all of their wares. Also coming up at the end of this month and going into the beginning of next month is the Quickener ticket campaign that the El Dorado Police Department will be participating in. They do this every year to raise awareness for seatbelt wearing. Seatbelts save lives, so you should always be wearing your safety belt or your seatbelt. But even so, the police department will be enforcing seatbelts during that period of time, during their Quickener ticket campaign. Participating in this allows us to not only enforce seatbelt enforcement, but it also gives the police department opportunities to get grants that they use to buy equipment. So that'll be coming up here before too long. In addition to that, the K2B4 Corridor Association recently provided schools located along the K2B4 corridor, including the El Dorado High School, gift cards to be provided. They're actually QT gas cards to be provided to high school students who are getting ready to leave for the summer, and those students that are using safe driving practices like buckling up, for example, will be able to obtain a $10 gift card, and today that's gold.
It's like gold, yeah.
So we have about $1,000 worth of gift cards, so there's plenty of gift cards to go around. So high school students, be mindful of that as you're out driving around. And thanks to the El Dorado Police Department for providing those gift cards. And thanks to the K2B4 Corridor Association for also providing those gift cards. Let's see, I've gone over those. The adult co-ed softball signups are starting now. The deadline is May 25th. If you're interested in setting up a team, call City Hall at 321-9100, and Parks and Rec will take care of you. The fee for one team is $160 a team. And finally, the headline event. Last week, city staff learned after swimming back out. So last week, the Parks and Rec Department hired a local licensing electrician to go out and replace a couple of underground or underwater light fixtures at the municipal pool because they weren't working when they turned the system on and need to be replaced. We currently don't have a building maintenance technician, so we hired a licensed electrician to do that work for us this year. So they went in and began to replace those bulbs, but before they put them back into their fixture, they noticed that the grounding wires were not properly connected, and upon closer inspection, they learned that the grounding wires, in some cases, were fully corroded and not even connected at all for these 3 lights that weren't working. So based on that rough assessment, There was a lot of dialogue between the licensed electrician, staff, in terms of what to do, because the problem that we have is, while we may understand the grounding situation from the 3 fixtures that we can see, we don't know what the status is of all of the grounding structures, and most specifically, all of the grounding structures that are actually located behind the concrete wall that makes up the pool's bowl. Part of the challenge with that is because of the pool's age, these grounding connections tend to just deteriorate over time. But then secondarily to that, and perhaps contributing to that, is the fact that the environment that the swimming pool is in is just a corrosive environment. The chemicals that are applied to the water just creates a naturally corrosive environment. So the difficulty with this is that because we don't know about the grounding situation throughout all of the pool and the surrounding grounds, an electric current may randomly move through those grounds. And so what I'm told, and I'm not an electrician by any means, what I'm told is that an electrical charge, which may actually originate outside of the pool area from whatever, may actually enter the grounds, and because it's not properly grounded, may actually enter the pool water, which then becomes more of a concern. So any metal objects such as handrails, light fixtures, even the diving board, anything that's metal must be grounded. Now, when the pool was originally built back about 50 years or so ago, all of that stuff was grounded. So just want to be clear that this is not something where the pool's not grounded and why was it not built that way? This is a process where this stuff has been deteriorating over the last 50 years, and it's probably just aged out, right? And so because of that, and because we don't know what the condition is of all of these grounds, the lug bolts and the various grounding connecting wires, it is my decision that we should probably just close the pool until we are able to conduct a thorough assessment of the pool to determine the full extent of the grounding situation, as well as options to actually address them. So in some cases, it may be to change out the grounding wire, but in some cases, it may be more extensive as we look behind the concrete to figure out what exactly the actual condition is behind the wall, so to speak. And because this could be quite extensive and may require a considerable amount of time, unfortunately, we can't put a timeline on that, although it is likely to extend through this season and perhaps into the next season, depending on what construction activities are necessary to repair that. This isn't necessarily obviously I'm making the decision, but the electrician that we spoke with, who's a licensed electrician, was very concerned, to say the least, when he had conducted the investigation, or the inspection rather. He was very concerned, and he spent a considerable amount of time looking into what the options were to address the situation. He could not come to a comfortable conclusion that would lead us to a comfortable way of resolving the situation quickly and allowing us to open the pool. He said that you can get a third party to look at this situation if you'd like. I'm really happy if you do that, but based on what I know about electricity, and I don't feel comfortable, now that I know about it, I have to tell you. So he told Kevin and I, and we kind of talked about it, and we talked to Ashlyn as well, and her take is that given the situation and the fact that the city knows that this exists, we have to do something other than continue to operate it. Liability, we would expose ourselves to some liability if we continue to operate it and something were to happen. So we understand that this is obviously a difficult situation for the community because we don't have a good timetable for when this will be resolved. Splash pads are not affected by this, of course, and so they will continue to operate as planned, and they will begin to operate around Memorial Day weekend, which is actually in about a weekend or so. The city will also refund any seasonal passes that have already been purchased, and we will plan to schedule a few special events that will help people cool off during the summer season. We'll probably have some more details about that coming forward, but right now, because we're still planning those, we'll kind of keep that in the wraps for now. So I guess my next step will be, per the commission's direction, to get an electrical engineer on board to conduct an assessment of the situation. so that we can understand the full extent of the problem and then understand the options. Obviously, we've had a licensed electrician look at it, but to the extent that some of these issues are kind of outside the parameters of an electrician, we probably need to have somebody look at it and kind of get an idea of what that looks like. Prepare some options, bring those back to the city commission for further discussion, and go from there. So I will take any questions that you all may have.
Can I ask you a question before we go back to the pool?
Sure.
When they did that surface on the bridge, is that the surface that's going to be there permanently on that, on the east side that they're, no, are they done with that now? Is that what the surface is going to be across the bridge?
Yeah, yes it is.
Okay, just curious. It's different than a,
It's an epoxy, the aggregates there, the protective epoxy. It's just, think of it as a permanent sealer over the concrete.
Okay. Just curious.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we'll have opportunities to communicate out to the public as some of these other maybe summer events come up to help people cool off a little bit.
Yep.
And we'll utilize all of our avenues of communication for that.
Yes.
What, so we don't have another public pool in El Dorado. What do we have, can we have information available maybe if people call and ask as to what it would take if somebody to join the YMCA and be able to utilize that pool or however that works? Do we have that information available as we try to redirect them as to what to do since our pool is not in use?
We don't have that information available yet, although staff, Kevin and I met very briefly to kind of talk about some options, like the YMCA pool, the Augusta pool, different pools that are in the area. So providing that information out, and possibly even doing some other things with respect to that. So we're currently looking at options, and once we have that fully packaged, we'll be able to get that out.
Can you open fire hydrants?
I believe that they've done that before, so we're gonna be talking to the fire department here as well. I know they've done some, I don't know, like spray down or spray up, or I don't know what they're called. They shoot the hose up in the air, and so we're probably gonna do some things like that as well.
Is there any way we could talk to the state about utilizing the beaches out there for right now?
The beaches are always open, yes.
Yeah.
We can talk to them about something. So there are some options out there that we are looking into and trying to figure out how we can play a part in that.
I have to admit, I like your situation of safety's first. And that's a hard call to make, David. And so I sure appreciate your willingness to, you're not going to be the most, what's the word I'm trying to say, popular person?
Yeah, it was actually ironic that my kids stayed in the pool.
Yeah.
Point that out. So
Saw that.
it's gonna be awesome.
But anyway, thank you for being willing to take that stance, because the kids are the most important things out
Have
there.
fun going home tonight.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, we've got patrons, obviously, and we've got employees that use lifeguard at the pool. And we don't know how long this condition's actually been in play. I mean, it could have been 5 years, it could have been 2 years, but we know that deterioration doesn't just happen overnight. And so luckily, no one has been hurt, but we do know of pools in Kansas that have had situations where there's been a short, where there's been an issue, a grounding issue, and something bad happens, and we don't necessarily need those headlines. So we felt that this was the best option, given the situation.
I would agree.
So when are the splash pads kicking off?
They will kick on or before Memorial Weekend. I don't know if we have an exact timeline.
The Saturday prior to Memorial Day.
Saturday prior, and we've also talked about extending the hours a little bit as well, so that people have a little bit longer time to utilize those as well.
Okay.
Oh, one thing just to mention, I went down to a ball game the other night, and kudos. Boy, all the ball diamonds look so nice, the grounds look nice, and everything just seemed to flow. So good job, Kevin.
Ball diamonds do look nice. We got summer ball coming up. Kids baseball, softball. We're gonna have baseball back at McDonald Stadium again this year with the El Dorado Walnuts.
Is there a schedule out?
I believe there is. Kevin, is that on our website?
I haven't seen it on their website.
It's-
I haven't looked at the schedule, obviously, because
It's on, I think it's on their Facebook page, but
On the
If
wall?
you go to Kansas Collegiate Baseball League, they have it on there. I was
Kansas
unable to find it on
Collegiate
their
Baseball
Facebook.
League, okay,
Kansas Collegiate Baseball League.
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
And
So-
we'll be posting it as well, because we're one of the sponsors. So we'll post it, we probably were waiting, but got a little closer.
sure. It's exciting. I'm glad to have baseball back. It's my favorite time of the year, so. Anything else? Are you done? Okay, consider a motion to adjourn then.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, David.